Hey team, welcome back to Hambassadors, brought to you by the crew at Stark. This week we're talking about Hamilton East, and right at the heart of Hamilton East is another Stark creation, Made.
Yeah, it's an urban precinct packed with local suppliers all on the edge of the Waikato River. We're talking artisan eats, boutique shopping, and a bunch of locally owned businesses showcasing their epic products, like our mates at Oat Bros fueling the Saturday Morning Run Club, or Volare and Soul Bowl in the Made Market.
And down at the sheds, there's Butter Boom Croissanterie, who are landing at the end of July, which you can pair with a flat white made by Dove at Grey Roasting, who just repped New Zealand at the World Coffee Champs in Geneva. So get down to Ham East and make Made your local. Welcome to the latest episode of Hambassadors, our show that takes you behind the scenes of the Between Two Beers podcast. You're looking confused, Shay.
You took my job.
Took your clap.
You took the clap from me.
Clap is back. Snooze, you lose, man.
What was the question?
There wasn't a question. I was introducing the show.
The Between Two Beers show.
Yeah. Hey, big week. Going down to Christchurch. Fun fact about Christchurch is it's our second most popular region. We are the listeners in Christchurch. What am I trying to say?
I'm not sure. We're all flustered. We've all just changed. A fun thing about Christchurch, Steve, I don't know if you know this, it's actually our second biggest listenership in New Zealand behind Auckland.
That's a good word. Yeah.
Audience.
You're a numbers guy,
eh? I'm more of a numbers guy than led on. But it is going to be a big few days.
Yep.
2 nights on tour.
Yep. We've got an advisory day, we've got an ABO day, and we have a big recording. Big recording on the Friday. I'm not going to say who it is.
Tease.
Yeah, but
nice.
It's a good one.
Broadcasting royalty.
Yeah. You can guess who that might be. Hey, last week was...
You're doing that hey thing again.
Yeah, I am. I'm gonna make a real conscious effort not to do it.
Like Dame Nolene with stop not saying I think and saying I know.
Yeah, I need another bridging word though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it'll come. So, big week of admin last week. And we're sort of structuring our weeks where we have recording weeks and an admin week. And last week was quite heavy. And a lot of time inside this office by ourselves without a window. And I think the valve got released is how I would describe it on Friday afternoon, didn't it?
Yeah, it was a lot of time kind of cooped up, some quite complex things we were dealing with. And yeah, I was a bit ratty by sort of 4 o'clock on a Friday, and something just tipped me off in one of our chats that we share with Marketing Marcus.
You're going to air some dirty laundry on Marketing Marcus now, because he has a word that he uses all the time, gutted.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as we've known him,
gutted. I mean,
he has spelt it with an R.
Yeah,
he's put an R in there
in the written version of it.
Yeah.
Gutted.
And I think we've both seen it.
Yeah.
And we've both just ignored it.
Yeah.
And then it came to a head, didn't it, on that Friday afternoon?
Yeah, I in particular, I don't even remember what the original topic was, but I just saw it and I stood up and I was frustrated and I just said, why does he put an R in gutted? I don't understand why he does that.
So I've messaged them on our WhatsApp chat. I was like, "Hey, bro."
We carried on with the actual topic back and forward.
Yeah,
and then I sort of said, I don't know what I said. I said, "Don't gaslight me."
I was like, "Hey, Marcus." Shay doesn't have the balls to ask you, but he wants to know why are you putting an R in gutted. And we had been exchanging quite quick-fire messages, and then he paused for about 60 seconds. I was like, I know what he's doing.
Yeah, he's definitely Googling.
He's Googling how to spell gutted. Marcus is a very smart and accomplished man. And I want to play you the voice notes that we sent to him afterwards after we realised.
It's good.
We were wondering, is he sitting there Googling how do you spell gutted? And he was. He'd been Googling how do you spell gutted. And then another one. Shay's walked around. Yeah. You know what really, can I say something? You know what really fucks me off? Why does he always put a fucking R in gutted? And he's replied, fuck, have been spelling it wrong my whole life. I've got head loss. And he went back and found all the times he'd put gutted with an R in our chat, and it was lots.
I mean, there's a few words and terms that kind of get lost in translation. One that I often use, which I didn't realize was wrong until it was pointed out with me. I would always say cast dispersions on things. It's actually cast aspersions.
Cast dispersions.
Cast like the T and the D I sort of just linked into one.
Yeah.
Cast dispersions.
Yeah.
And someone was like, it's cast aspersions.
Yeah, there's a few like that, isn't there? one of the ones, so we've made a list, right, of ones that we sort of have come into contact with. One of them is do a 360.
Yeah.
Instead of do a 180.
Yeah, because you just end up back in the same spot you were in the first place. For all intensive purposes.
Yeah.
It's for all intents and purposes.
Yeah. Did you know that one?
I knew that one. I knew that one.
You knew that one. This is an American one. I could care less. They say that all the time. I could care less. I couldn't care less, but I could care less.
Which is the right one?
I couldn't care less.
Yeah.
If you could care less, yeah. That is one I used to get annoyed by when I was in America. I could care less. Pissed me off.
This one I've never, I think we've even spoken about this before, spitting image or splitting image. And after research, apparently it's a biblical reference, spit and image in the Bible. And it's about Adam, I think.
Spitting.
Spit and image.
What does it mean though?
I'm not sure.
Spit an image.
Yeah, I think it's like
spit an image of you.
I think God made other people out of his spit and mud.
Ah.
And it's spit and image.
Is a spit, and now we have bastardized it. And we just say, oh, you're a spitting image.
Or splitting image.
Yeah.
And I don't even know which is right.
That's disrespectful to the Lord.
Let's just get through this list. Yeah. We're losing it here.
Nip it in the butt. Is nip it in the bud?
Yeah.
It's a dog world.
That's just
dog world.
But that's just a Snoop Dogg line.
Hunger pangs.
Yeah, I always thought it was hunger pains. Like
pangs.
But it's pangs.
Yeah. I don't think any of these are as bad as gutted, putting an R in gutted. If you're putting an R in gutted, have a good hard look at yourself.
That's possibly...
I'm hoping this strikes a chord with someone listening like, fucking hell.
Thank God someone said that.
Because I think less of you, if you put an R in gutted, I think less of you as a person.
Yeah, and we let it slide for too long. Way too long. I'm glad we stamped it out. If you see someone making an error, because we were talking about this, like he's either doing it ironically as a gag, or he doesn't know.
And clearly he doesn't know because it's not a gag if we're not in on it.
If someone has something in their teeth, do you point it out?
Depends who it is. If
really?
It was you, yes.
If it was a stranger and you were talking to them, they met you for the first time and they got
Probably not.
You just let it slide.
Probably.
I can't remember who I was with, but I was with someone and they were talking and the lady we were talking to had like lipstick all over her, like she'd eaten the lipstick.
Yeah.
And they pulled them up straight away and they said, hey, look, just so you know, you've got lipstick all through your teeth.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, thank you so much. I would have just gone through the whole day with this situation.
So you tell me I have bad breath.
A lot.
When I have bad breath.
Yeah, daily.
And I respect that.
Yeah.
Because I like
But you don't do anything about it.
You start brushing my teeth again. But
just thought about that kid's toothbrush.
I'm back to adult toothbrushes. But
are you still rocking a manual or you got an electric?
I've got a manual. Sorry, I've got an electric.
Yeah, nice.
I've got an electric. We've upgraded. But I wouldn't tell many people they had bad breath.
Right.
I would tell you.
You've fired back at me a few times.
Yeah, but not many.
Nah.
Not many people. It's quite personal. It's quite
jarring.
an attack. It's jarring.
It's jarring when you hear it.
I told you at the podcast awards, didn't I said, man, you need to sort that situation out.
And thankfully, Marcus, while he's a very bad speller, he did have chewing gum on him, and I was able to remedy that.
So we had the girls from the Girls Get Off in studio.
Viv and Joe.
2 weeks ago. And we'll release it in a couple of weeks, but that was a fun record. And when we're talking about sort of wordplay and sexual innuendo, there was a lot in that episode, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's sort of, that was the third sexually framed episode that we've recorded. And I found myself going back into that weird place where I didn't feel comfortable talking about it and sort of, being really deliberate on the word choice. What didn't help, though, was the fact that there was a suction cup dildo in the middle of the two sides of the table, and it sort of just kept wiggling and wobbling as people were talking, and it was in my eye line, and I was trying to stay engaged and trying to stay in conversation, but it sort of just kept wiggling around in there, and at one point, Joe grabbed it.
Yeah, she did.
With two hands.
Quite subtly at first. I'm not sure how the dildo made its way over to her.
But I eventually moved it.
Yeah. And then she was making quite a sort of a serious and thoughtful point, but she had both of her hands on the dilly.
Yeah.
And I had to actually stop her and say, I'm going to have to stop you there, Joe.
I can't.
I can't continue like this. But there was a lot of gags in there of not deliberate, but when you're in that sort of sexually themed world, like she was telling it, Viv was telling a story about a stripper. And then Joe was like, did he come inside? And the meaning like,
I think we tried to brush past that one.
But you can't. You've got to go back to it. And the other good one is cameraman Sam. What are we calling him? Video man Sam? Cameraman Sam? Producer Sam.
Vag. Video assistant guy.
So I think perhaps in the past, Shay and I have tried to stitch each other up in these episodes, but we realised we had a third party we could bring in, and every time they would say something like, because Sammy was he was just saying to us before off air, before you came in.
Before we leave Girls Get Off, there's 2 products here behind me.
Yeah, great product.
Wanda and Missy.
Great product.
There was a third one which was in the office.
Yeah.
The dilly that we've just referred to.
Yeah.
The suction dildo, which has disappeared.
Well, I don't think it's disappeared.
Well, I didn't take it, and
they were gifts,
and I didn't
to be used. What we're doing,
I wasn't aware.
Yeah, what we're doing
that it had been.
What we're doing here, Shay, is we're actually normalising female pleasure.
That was and that's fair.
Yeah.
We are doing that. I don't know why I'm so weird about it.
And so it's made its way home. It's all that needs to be said at this point.
Have you been using it?
We'll save that for the episode, okay? Because I do.
You got to film it.
Nah, come on, man. Come on, man.
This is going to be a hard hard transition.
No, it's not. Me and Shay got back on the Reflections buzz week before last, and it was a cool afternoon. It was a big end to the week. We'd had a recording on the Thursday and then a recording on the Friday morning. And on the Friday afternoon, we did a joint reflections project.
Masterpiece.
Yep, with this legend of a bloke who is a very successful and established businessman. He'd listened to the podcast. His daughter bought it for him for his 70th birthday present. And he came in and shared the afternoon with us telling his life stories. We put in the same amount of research as we do for guests on the podcast, and his daughter came in early and dressed up the studio like a war room, because that's how he used to sort of dress up his business rooms.
I thought that was a gag to begin with.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't know he went to
military,
war, because that's not in our notes.
And that was apparently the theme of the boardroom at the business that he worked in.
Yeah. So it was so cool. He turned up and he was excited to share his story, and then he walks in and he sees the whole look of the place. And man, we got off to a rip-roaring start. So he had tequila was his drink of choice, and we were having drinks on the home straight. His family and friends had all written in to share, what a influence and impact he had had on their lives. And we're kind of reading that out down the, after sort of going over his life story. It was emotional, and then we're having tequila and having laughs. And the whole thing was just such a cool Friday afternoon and a cool experience for him. And the messaging that they said afterwards, so we did some sort of interviews with them after the recording that we can use for promo of Reflections. And he was like, it was one of the best experiences I can remember of recent years, how cool it is to capture your story and for your daughter and your kids to want it enough. He's like, that brought me to tears when they offered me said they were going to do it for me.
Yeah, I think I'm maybe a little bit desensitized to people sharing their story, because I didn't. It was when they were reflecting on, or he was reflecting on the actual experience and how it had really helped him in the week leading up to go back into his own childhood and to think about things really critically about what he was going to talk about, that it kind of dawned on me just how powerful a gift that could be, but also what an experience it is. We sometimes said at the end of our episodes, the Between Two Beers episodes, 2 hours of a couple of people genuinely interested about your life doesn't happen all that often. So for someone to have that experience, I understand now, and I thought about it on the drive home, just about how awesome that must be to be able to do, and probably we take it for granted, the opportunity that we give other people.
I thought of it through the lens of the kids. The best gesture, I think, if you're getting older, say I'm 70, turning 70, and my kids are 40, and they want to capture my life story. I think I found that part of it really special. And I think that's what touched him too. It's like, shit, they want to know about the parts of my life that we haven't really talked about, which is childhood and growing up. It's like there's huge parts of his life that there's never the time or place to talk about. So it was great. It was great afternoon. I think I drove home in silence though. It was a long week. Yeah.
But if you're interested, go to reflections.life.
Nice.
And book yourself reflections for you or someone that you love.
You know what's next?
Fun bag.
We put out a little fun bag primer to our audience, and we have got a lot of some bloody good questions have come in.
So compiled the greatest hits.
We put them all together, and some good stuff about the pod. It will be fun to talk about. So first one is, what's the weirdest fan interaction you've ever had? Shay?
I think being auctioned off at the Hellberg Awards a couple years ago was quite a surreal experience. One, because I think it was $6,500 for us. Yeah, to go to dinner like that. It's a lot of money for us to go in.
Well, it was us and a private chef. Let's be clear about what the package they bought was. A private chef.
You're right.
And booze, and it's all put up, it's not just our company.
But I think going into that dinner with, was it 8 or 10 complete strangers, was an interesting exercise.
And kind of being the entertainment.
Yeah. And I think what I've spoken about this before, but I was called the wrong name for half of the dinner by our hosts, graciously, who thought that my name was Shameless. And another instance where you should stamp it out straight away, I just probably let it slide. Yeah. I think half the table let it slide, and then I think I might have,
Can I ask you something which we haven't talked about?
Sure.
A recent guest spelt your name wrong in the book, didn't they?
Yeah.
And you didn't say anything.
I didn't notice it. Until I got home.
I noticed it.
You noticed it.
Well, I noticed it. But then I got sidetracked in another conversation. I think you were in conversation with the guest. And I wondered if you had clocked it and just hadn't front-footed it.
No, I got home and I opened it and I looked and I was like, the H strikes again. Yeah. What about you? Weird fan interaction?
I think it's weird when Bon gets approached by people who are fans of the podcast. She messaged me last night and she's like, she works at the hospital. It's like some orderly came up. It's like, oh my God, I didn't realize you were... She's like, I've just been reading about you and saw your picture of you in a article, which I'm guessing was Women's Weekly.
Oh, yeah. Women's Day.
No,
Women's Weekly, you're right.
I find that weird. A lot of it I find weird, to be honest.
Yeah, there's been a bit of Women's Weekly recognition, or Women's Day recognition. A bit of women's magazine recognition, actually, that I've got as well.
Okay, here's a question. If you could swap lives with each other for a week, what's the first thing you'd do?
I would take Bon and the kids on a holiday.
What?
No, you asked me, I've answered. I would take Bon and the kids on a holiday because I think you need to get away from work for a week. I've answered. I had a gag answer in there. I'd sign up for Ashley and Martin because I'd reached my turning point. But I thought I'd do a serious one first, but apparently that one's full of laughs.
If I swap places with you, how long's the time period? A week. I would just sit in my empty house.
That's what I do anyway.
I know. Yeah. We were talking about this the other day. On the weekend,
the weekends. Yeah.
We always start our weeks with how's your weekend and what did you get up to? And you're like, I just had the most refreshing weekend. I watched a lot of sport. I just didn't really do anything. And I was like, I didn't have a single second to myself. I was looking after 4 kids.
Yeah, take them on holiday.
Yeah. I would just sit. I would just be.
No, take them on holiday.
Down to Topol. I'd have an afternoon nap.
Swim up pool. Swim up whatever that thing is called. Swim up bar.
Yeah. Good question.
What's the most embarrassing thing you've said or done during an interview?
Do you remember when we had Detective Inspector Scott Beard on the show?
Yes, I do.
I think I had COVID and my brain wasn't quite working right.
You did.
And I think I was trying to ask him about police college, and I was drawing a blank, but I'd already started asking, and I said cop school.
He was quite. I think I might have even been as well. Like
what?
We call it police. We call it police cop school.
Yeah, I didn't feel great about that one. What about you?
Anna Reeve, Jay Reeve's wife. There was a segment at the start, I think I don't know what got into me, but I probably spent about 15 minutes just praising how awesome I thought Jay Reeve was.
Yeah.
It was quite...
I think I told you to have a cold shower at one point.
Yeah, and I think there's probably not a lot of it in the final edit because I think on listen back I chopped out about 10 minutes. But sometimes I'm really good at a callback, like a callback reference. At that time I went way too hard on it.
Yeah,
I made myself feel sick too on that one. So that's one I'd take back.
Okay, here's one. Have you ever genuinely disagreed on a guest or a question during the podcast? How did that go?
Not a question, because we go over kind of the episode framework. Sometimes there's some...
Sometimes I'll disagree with a question you're asking.
Oh, you've never said that?
Nah, and it's never really the question. It's just like if you get a guest who's a really long answerer or a really long storyteller, and I'm wanting to move us along, and then you double down and like, oh fucking hell, there's another 5 minutes.
Yeah, so yeah. Especially with those what are they? Free thinkers? What?
ADHD.
Yeah, divergent thinkers.
Free thinkers.
Oh man, maybe I've got COVID today. But yeah,
they should be called free thinkers.
They are free thinkers.
I think that could stick.
Yeah, but because you're right. I sometimes be like, oh, that's quite interesting. I might ask about that, and then you just completely...
And I've got this sort of ticking timer in the back of my head, like we're going to drag them out of here.
Yeah, I am guilty of that.
But in terms of guests, no, I don't think we've ever disagreed. Our process is basically we kind of have these times where we think about who would be good for the upcoming months, and we have like a top tier and a middle tier and a third tier, and we kind of agree on those names. I think we're pretty aligned in who makes a good guest.
Yeah, I think there's times where we'll suggest a guest and I won't know a lot about them, but then you do the research and go, oh yeah, this is going to play. But sometimes in those initial stages, I might be a little bit hesitant. But trust, you got to trust, right?
You got to trust.
You got to trust.
You've got to trust,
and you got to give. I'm going to take this one.
Yeah,
because I'm just going to ask it and answer it. The dumbest argument you ever had off mic. It's not so much an argument; it was a conversation.
Yeah,
and it was you and UFOs.
Yeah.
When you walked into the office one day and you went, hey man, you heard about those UFOs? And I just couldn't fathom what you were talking about.
So it started there.
How are they going, by the way?
No, hang on. It started there. And then you brought it up. I remember we were in Parnell walking to the ice house or something.
I know exactly
and you re-brought it up.
Because it was such a ridiculous thing for you to say in the first place.
There were these drones in the sky in New Jersey and no one knew what was going on. And they had press conferences about it.
No, they didn't.
Oh, they did.
They definitely didn't have press conferences about it.
This is a good example of the argument.
This is not.
There was. And I can source you after this.
Yeah, what was your source? All
of the sources. So here's what happened is I
can't believe we're doing this again.
You can infiltrate someone's algorithm. So by sending
this is what you do though.
By sending
you reverse
him links,
engineer like it was a gag, but you were definitely
by sending
what about those UFOs in the bottom of the ocean
to the evidence that I had.
No evidence.
It meant that he started getting UFO stuff popping up in your feed, which happened, right?
Yeah, definitely. And you ruined my summer. You ruined my summer social media enjoyment by this stuff about UFOs.
And I think that's probably the dumbest argument we've ever had.
I did find it interesting that you brought it up with me, but like no one else in my whole world.
Yeah, that's your echo chamber, bro.
Yeah, but like I've got lots of free thinkers. Free your
mind.
Anyway, like
free your mind.
UFOs.
What's the biggest lie you've told on the podcast?
You're going to out me here, aren't you?
Well, Shane Cameron, I'll go back to Shane Cameron. In the early days, you told him you were going to do his 12-week course. I'm definitely going to do it.
Yeah, I did.
And you didn't do it.
I haven't done that.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Shane.
That's going back about 4 years.
Yeah, I probably lied a lot more on the podcast since then. But I had best intentions of signing up.
Yeah, I don't doubt that. That was during you probably still on the booze at that point?
No, I think we were... Oh, yeah, possibly. Yeah,
it was
possibly.
a different time.
Possibly.
Yeah. I can't remember a biggest lie. I don't know.
Yours are all sort of just white lies.
Yeah, white lies.
But reading stuff.
Okay, what's one thing you admire about each other but would never say to their face? This is an interesting one. What do you got?
I think you're a really good dad.
You wouldn't say that to my face?
I've never said that to you before.
Oh.
Yeah, I watched how you spend time with your kids, quietly explaining things. You seem like quite a fun dad in social media. You take time out to coach your kids' sports. I think that's really cool.
It's a nice one.
You got a bit classy, don't you?
I just had, you got a beautiful head of hair.
You always say that to me.
You do. It's full.
No.
Yeah.
A couple of greys going in there.
Yeah.
Who has
Thank
the
you.
better...
That was a nice
You're
thing to
welcome.
say.
No, I can't look at you. Who has the better fashion sense? Or is it just lowest common denominator Kiwi casual?
I put a rating on here for both of us for this one.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know we were rating. I just wrote some words.
Yeah, I've got us both at a 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
I think maybe
That's
you might
generous
be,
on yourself.
You might be a little bit ahead. Maybe you're a 7
I
and
think
maybe I'm a 5, but we're in that ballpark.
I said I don't have fashion sense or style. I just know what I like and I just wear it.
Yeah.
I don't go outside my guardrails.
No, you don't.
Whereas Bon
And that's,
buys you a lot of what you wear.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's fair. Like I said, we're in that range, 5 to 7.
Yeah.
It's not great. It's
No.
It's not terrible,
I'm not setting the world on fire.
but it's not great.
Nah. I mean,
There's room for improvement there.
I'm comfortable.
Yeah.
Those pants are baggy, by the way.
Well, baggy's in.
They are so baggy, though. I think you need to do more squats. Fill them out the back.
Okay, if a
That's what
movie
Dr.
was
Joe
made,
Brown was saying.
if a movie was made about your podcasting journey, who plays you two?
I've gone with a US version and an NZ version for you.
For me, okay.
For you.
Yeah.
So the obvious cast for New Zealand is Ryan Bridge. Because your face.
Is he an actor?
Well, that's just your facially.
Yeah. I don't know about his acting chops.
Okay. The US version, I've gone Will Poulter.
I don't know who that is.
Meet the Millers. The young kid in Meet the Millers.
Yeah, okay, that's niche.
Yeah, and it's mostly eyebrow recognition.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I like that.
I think there's been a looky-likey on the Threadley's chat with you and Will Poulter.
Okay, Marcus can do something with that. For you, I've gone Bill Cosby.
He's been cancelled. That's the worst. That is the worst. That is the absolute worst you could come up with.
No, I was just joking. Bro.
it's good.
Cuba Gooding Jr.
Yeah, I had Denzel Washington for myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had Ben Affleck and Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, those
myself.
both play. Those both play.
Cuba Gooding. Do you know what I had to search for that?
Snow Dogs?
No. What? No, I was like, well, who would play you? I searched black actors.
Oh, no. Stephen.
Is there something wrong with that?
You should just use
the results.
You should just use my best man speech from your wedding. I also had Cliff Curtis to play me.
Yeah.
I've had that one before.
All right. Last couple. What is the strangest thing you've done for content?
It's not really content, but coming out at that Tanya Dalton Foundation dinner in the onesie.
Yeah.
That was, and even singing.
Yeah.
Singing to an audience of 1,000 people.
500.
750.
Yeah, that was
a lot.
Was that this year?
Yeah, and I've
last year.
I've got some of the DAZN stuff I did in the lounge that took a lot. There was a lot of takes for that stuff, and also the Pitter Pit with Bruce.
So that's
with
my
your dad,
one.
Bruce.
So that's my one. The first advertising partner we got on board was Peter Pit, and we said we'll do some sort of ads for it.
Yeah,
and then we shot this video, and it's me and Shay like acting about how delicious their I can't remember what they were called.
It was a breakfast brioche,
which are delicious.
They are, yeah.
But then I've got my old man Bruce in the back seat of the car doing different shots.
It was the B-roll because we got the first ones, but we had to get some pickup shots.
I was like, how are we here? If you could ban one question from ever being asked again, what would it be?
I just put, what did you do today / this week?
Oh, you don't like that one?
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah. Or any of my free thinker questions, my free thinker interjections.
I put one for us to be asked, which is, what are your plans for the future?
Oh, what's your favourite episode? That's another one.
Well, the content we went on this podcast, which hasn't been released yet, and it was a really popular marketing podcast, and the episode was going really good. Like I thought it was great chat. We were sharing stories.
Yeah.
So was he. And then at the end, he's like, what are your goals? What are your what's your future plans? And I started waffling. And then he kind of called us on it. He's like, that's just bullshit. Like, what do you, and then he kind of like taught us how to make real goals. I'm like, this is embarrassing because we have been doing this with our business coach.
Wait till Die hears that.
Yeah. So don't ask us about our future, okay? I don't want to have to.
Nah, that's good. That's good. That's good thinking. Have you ever been starstruck by a guest?
No, and I was. This is an interesting reflective exercise because not at all anymore. The last time I had any hint of it was Mark Ellis, and that was 3 years ago now. And he was a sort of childhood idol, and no one had heard from him, and I wondered how it was going to be. But since then, I can't think of anyone that I've been nervous to chat with. You?
Not nervous, but starstruck a little bit by Stephen Price.
Yeah,
yeah.
He's
a big guy, but I quite liked his leadership, kind of in that Warriors kind of period. I read his book, and then he signed.
Spelled your name wrong.
Spelled my name wrong when he signed it. But that was probably the last time with Stephen Price.
Okay. Hey, good questions.
Yeah. Good fun bag.
Listeners.
We should open that up more often.
Really good fun bag. So, between two bets,
you can't just substitute one for another. You got to have different ones in up your sleeve.
What do you got? You seg then.
All right. Heading over now to.
Oh, that's the worst. That's worse than anything I've ever done.
Really?
That's terrible.
All right.
Broadcaster.
Okay. Between two bets. What do you got? Brought to you.
I like that.
By our friends at the TAB. R18 bet responsibly.
For loyal Between Two Bets and Hambassadors listeners, you remember that last week I placed a bet and I got a bonus back if it lost, and it lost and I got the bonus back.
Yeah, smooth.
I was talking about why have we got this extra $50 bonus
you thought I didn't put the bet on again.
Yeah, I did. It's happened before. But it lost. The good news is the bonus bet is there. I'm going
My bet lost as well, if anyone was wondering.
Yeah.
But I had really good betcha luck on the weekend. I got 3 from 3. Same game multis. ABs.
Not on our account.
No, I did it on my, I had to close my offshore account because all betting's coming into New Zealand, so I had to do that. Yeah. My little side hustle that I got going on. Three bets came in. All Blacks came in, Warriors women came in, and Warriors.
I sometimes forget how many people listen to Hambassadors, and people will bring up like, what's going on with your betting?
Yeah.
Like, you guys are terrible. Have you ever won a bet? And they're invested, and I feel like we let them down. My issue is, if I bet on low odds and I'm putting a $50 bet on and it returns $35, what's the point?
Yeah,
what's the point?
That's you in life.
What's the point?
That's you in life. You bet big.
And then we're going to do like payoff. 10 in a row and get something. No. And so we got to go for longer odds. And I've gone for France to score the first try against the All Blacks.
What's
in
that
Hamilton? $5.75. You do the maths.
I've gone longer odds. And I have stuck in the netball realm because we had Dame Nolene Totoa released this week, and I'm quite a big netball follower. I've gone ANZ Premiership Elimination Final Tactics versus Pulse for the game to end as a draw and for them to need extra time to separate the two teams.
So two silly bets.
That's $14. That's $14.
I can understand
returning
some of the critiques we're getting. It's silly bets, aren't they?
Bet with what you know. Like I did on the weekend with my 3 from 3.
Hey, big thanks to our sponsors, the TAB.
R18, bet responsibly.
Jay Reeve.
He's a big betcha guy. They hosted pot.
No.
Yeah, I know. I was carrying on with it.
All right.
Dude.
Super popular. One of our most popular apps, which doesn't surprise me. He is very popular host. He also doesn't do a lot of those sort of long-form chats about himself. Like he tells stories on his podcast and his radio show, but that sort of 360 look at him. What am I talking about?
I don't know, but I had 2 people message me privately about that episode saying they had no idea who he was beforehand, but by the end of it, they were like, man, who is this guy? I need to get more of him in my life.
Yeah.
That's what we want out of any episode.
Good energy. Contagious.
We also cut his very last story out of the podcast, which was a great yarn, I thought.
What I will say about Jay Reeve is we stuck around for about 30 minutes after recording, and some of the stories we got there, we've already talked about getting him back for round 2. I don't know how many of those we can use, but the one we did say, Dunk has given us this one. I'm not sure if we can broadcast it, and he told it, and it had us in hysterics, but then the call got made to cut
Have you ever been in that position that he was describing in that story?
No.
Not the specifics, but doing that. Really? Never?
Yeah, no.
Huh.
I think that's going to be a frustrating listening experience.
Probably. I have.
Okay. Nolene Todua.
Great episode.
Not what I expected.
Why?
That's what I've got in my notes.
What were you thinking?
A little bit like Dame Susan, I think.
Devoy.
From the outside, I thought quite sort of serious and stern and, like doesn't suffer fools, which I think that part's probably accurate. But after meeting her and chatting with her, so warm and full of laughs and gags and just like good, positive energy.
Yeah.
What are you laughing at?
I was waiting for where you were going to go. I thought I was waiting.
I really enjoyed her company. We had some really cool feedback on it from people, I think, sharing that thought. I haven't really seen that side of her. Some people saying, you get a lot of very typical traditional netball interviews, but this was wider than that.
It's also our first netball interview.
Yeah.
Which, good to start with, I think, an awesome storyteller. I really, the part I enjoyed, and I think a couple of people have said to me, they're like, man, you were really there for that interview. I really enjoyed understanding the inner workings of how the Silver Ferns, like I love team environments and understanding like how those work, from like being in all white dressing rooms and team dressing rooms. So that inner workings kind of piece about how you make a team function and how you bring people together for like a common cause was fascinating for me. It was you can probably tell if you've listened to it. I was 100% all in on that conversation. I
had some really cool chats with her friends and family in the build up to it. And there was one contact, and I'm not going to name her, she was reluctant to take the call because she listened to the podcast and felt that she was going to let us down by not giving good information on Nolene. And it ended up being like maybe the best prep call I've ever had. Like as I was transcribing it, and I think I read a bunch of it in the episode, I was like, this is so good. And I think that speaks to the sort of the humble, attitude or nature of that Silver Fern squad as well.
Yeah, for me, it was kind of like Clayton McMillan areas, someone that probably gives you know them from a media perspective because they have to do media in terms of game preparation and those sorts of things. But understanding who the person is a little bit behind that for me was really awesome. So yeah, I super enjoyed that episode. That's not good English.
This week we are releasing our low-key legend Marius Vanderpoel, who we teased in a couple of Hambassador episodes ago.
Yeah, after that one, it got me thinking about there's just some people out there that are built different, really, really built different, and had kind of these really interesting chapters of their life. But their mind, like Marius's mindset is wild, the way he thinks about things and approaches things. It's going to be a really interesting listen for people out there, just in terms of like resilience mindset.
There was a soldier that joined the SAS that joined Team New Zealand and set a New Zealand record for rowing. Just the mindset is unreal. Listen to the episode because the mindset and the way he holds himself, and just the best human.
Is he David Goggins? New Zealand's David Goggins? Is he New Zealand's David Goggins? Make your own minds up.
I think he could go close.
Let's get ready for Christchurch.
Yeah, if you see us, this will be out on Thursday morning. We'll be around until Friday afternoon.
Yeah, come and say hi.
Yeah. Ask us who our favourite guest is. Nah, good chatting, man. Hey.
Oh.
Damn it. Sammy is disgusted. See you next time, guys.
Enjoy.